Welcome. It is Monday, January 28th, and as you can see, there's something unusual, which is you're seeing my face. I did get a webcam, so now you can feel like you're talking directly to me. Isn't that great? All right, two things today. I'm just gonna go quickly over what happened on my portfolio, and then we are going to talk about market peaks and bottoms. And more specifically China because it's been in the news, and I have a couple comments on that. So I do have a little bit of China, as you can see over here. FXI is Chinese fund. I'll click on it so you can see. Um, it's only about $1,000, and I also have Alibaba as well. And Alibaba is a just a $1,500 position there. So nothing too extravagant. But let's quickly go over the market. So silver and gold, the precious metal sector went up a little bit, but EXK, my champs, are down a couple percent. The gold mining and silver mining stocks usually lead the price of the metal, so it's an investor's way of saying that they're very pessimistic on the price of the metals. I think everyone's expecting a dollar rally, a strengthening of the dollar, which usually portends pain for the miners. So that's probably what's happening there. We don't know if that's going to materialize or not. It usually does. So I'm not going to change anything. I'm not going to sell my position. I did have a nice run on Friday, I believe, from 195 to 202, but today it was a very neutral day for the miners and a bad day for EXK, Endeavor Silver. Apple is down a percent, almost a percent prior to their earnings call, which some people are trading it up, some people are trading it down. Devotee sent out guidance that China is pretty weak, and so they're not expecting some extremely major um, record-blowing numbers there. But the rest of the funds and stocks, as you can see, are pretty much even. Um, Russia's down a percent. Precious metals, the uranium stocks went down a little bit, but not too much. As you can see, chemical, as you know, I really like this company. It's only down 0.5%. The URA, the uranium business ETF, down 0.8, and energy fuels down 3%. No big deal. All right, so nothing super interesting. Down about $500 on the day. This is the weekly chart. This is from last week. This is the weekend here. And then boom, the Monday drop. Um, I had a really nice record-setting Friday at $48,154, and that's up from like 3 months ago, which is the last time I added money. I haven't added any money actually. It's more than 3 months, I think, from 43. So that's almost it's like over a $4,000 gain there. Not too bad considering the market is dropping. I made that comparison last time, but as you can see, I'm up 12, 17% over the last 3 months. And the SPY, which is the S&P, is actually down. So I'm outplaying the market by quite a bit so far, which I'm really happy about that performance. All right, moving on. Um, what kind of options do I have in play? Wheat and precious metals. This call, there's a call sold at $20. Everything expires at February 15th. It's a big options date. And then I have a put sold at 110 for Spotify, which will probably expire. It's like at 135 now. Apple call at 165. We'll see if that gets triggered after earnings. If it does, I'll just sell. I'll make an extra grand and call it a trade and look for better opportunities, or maybe even sell some puts against Apple and try to get back into the trade. Um, C-SPAN 215, $10 call. It's at like 950 right now. We don't know if that's going to trigger or not. And the rest of them are a little have a further duration. Now, let's talk about China. China. So I have a comment on market peaks and bottoms, right? So usually the tops of the markets are marked by this kind of like non-stop talking about a specific subject, and it intensifies and intensifies and intensifies until there's like a violent, either like a blow off top or a violent reversal of some sort. So let's take the most recent one, which was Bitcoin, right? Everybody in the month was talking about Bitcoin and how, and the bigger the bubble, the more the people are involved. So everyone's talking about whether you hate it, you love it, is the conversation. I mean, I met up with people that I hadn't seen for years, just kind of a reunion thing, and I was just where I knew that somebody was going to mention Bitcoin. Um, it's kind of like, how are you? How is the family? And then just of course, like 10 minutes into the conversation, somebody's talking about Bitcoin and how their friend is involved in Bitcoin or someone they know or the neighbor or something like that. So usually that happened January 1st, I think, 2000, and like whenever the bubble was at like 19,000. So usually that talk intensifies and you just can't turn around without hearing somebody talking about that subject. And it seems like the slowing China story has been so overplayed lately. Like, China's bad. Apple saying China's in bad shape. Other industries, I think like Caterpillar is reporting that China's economy is doing bad. Ali, you know, Nvidia and all these companies reporting earnings, they're blaming China. If you look at the Chinese stock market, let's take the year, look at this year chart of this Chinese ETF. I mean, it's down, 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 down. And yeah, I'm sure they have problems. They got a lot of central planning in there and a lot of waste of resources. But I mean, it's it's a big country. It's got a lot of people. They have a very high IQ there, average IQ like 102. They can make things happen. They have companies, giants like Alibaba and JD and all these holding companies, and they have businessmen there. I do agree that the government is definitely a little bit fakely pro-business, meaning like they really care about the interests of the country more than the interests of the country's economy. So they're kind of like this overbearing parent that's not really letting creativity, or a teacher that's not really letting creativity thrive. So it will slow them down, but I think the story is a little bit overplayed, and that probably means that we're towards the bottom, in my opinion. I mean, I was expecting kind of like a little flush out in the emerging markets, including China, before we go up, but it seems like we may have even marked the bottom here. So it's an interesting comment on my part to make, but it just feels like there's so much talk and so much attention. It seems to me that all that negativity should be priced in at this point, or peak negativity. So just like a bubble, a bottom is like the reverse of the bubble. So as much as at the peak of a bubble, you hear of all these positive things and how everything's gonna go to the moon and whatnot. At the bottom, you think that the Earth's gonna explode, the sky's falling, and hell's freezing over, etc. So that's my comment on peaks and bottoms. We'll see if this is the case, but I'm just getting that sense. Um, and I don't really want to invest according to that sense. I have a well diversified investment here, and I'm doing my options plays, and I'm not really going to get bothered try to trade these trends too much. So I'm just going to stick to doing my own thing, collecting premiums and being a little bit hedged, and see if I can grow my portfolio faster than the market. Um, I really want to reach like the 1%, 1.5% monthly average in a couple years, and that will really help me. But hopefully, I beat that number. I think of that as like a minimum to try to boost this account up and hopefully get to 1 million one day. All right, I think that's it for now. I'll make another video so there's something interesting to talk about tomorrow, and I think that's it. Peace out.